welcome to Sonic Talk Live with Jason Berry and Alex. Thank you for coming.
Hello.
Jason has been a part of our event every year now since 2013,
Right.
And he does his thing every year, and he does the Sonic Talk. You want to talk about Sonic Talk a little bit more, and I'll let you get back into your event. So.
Okay, Sonic Talk is a podcast we started on the website Sega Bits for, I think that was actually around, what, 2013?
Yeah, around that sounds right.
Yeah, and this Sonic Talk Live will be our 53rd episode currently.
Our first live episode, unless we count those Discord things.
Yeah. They're live, but we only have like one person watching them with us.
This is a record for us.
It's about half of our YouTube audience, I think. We're on Sonic Stadium now. If you check that out on sonicstadium.org, we broadcast our podcast on there. So you can check that out. Thank you very much.
And if you don't like us today, I do think we're a bit better when our third character supporter's around, but he can make it.
Yeah, he's all the way back. It's real tough for him. All right, and welcome to Sonic Talk Live. All right, and first up, we normally talk about what we've been playing, what we've been doing. Recently, I've been cleaning up my room pretty heavily. My sister-in-law, Debbie's been advising me on getting a shed for our backyard to put a whole bunch of, I gotta really put this close to me to hear myself. All right, and so I've been cleaning up my room, and when you do that, you tend to find old stuff that's been buried forever that you forgot that you even still had, and I found my PSP Go, and fired that baby up, and had a lot of good stuff on it. I was missing Sonic Rivals 2, which I've owned digitally for a while. Then I decided, I'll get Sonic Rivals 1, 2, and just make it a whole collection. So going through that was a nightmare because one, the PSP Go is barely compatible with any Wi-Fi signals now, which doesn't really matter because you can't use PSP on PSN anymore.
Like how do you even support the thing anymore?
Yeah, I couldn't even do it through PC. I finally hooked up my brother's PlayStation 3, hooked up my account, bought the games through there, then downloaded it through there. And they don't even have a PSP section. You have to go through Vita to go through there. So, I mean, they talk about, the digital titles of the future, but the problem is the older the systems get, the more obsolete they are. And that kind of makes it hard when you're trying to purchase new games for an old system.
Now, speaking of obsolete portables, now, yeah, I've been playing some stuff on the Switch lately, but no one cares about that. Every time I come to an event like this, I usually make it a point to bring some obscure piece of crap portable with a Sonic game on it. Last year, at this very event, it was an N-Gage. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. And but this year, I brought this thing. Now, I don't know if anyone here knows what this is, but this is a Tiger Gamecom Pro. Now, despite the name, it's actually a bit shittier than the original version with a really crappy backlight. And in addition to having loads of games that can barely run, it has a port of Sonic Jam. Now, you've never played a Sonic game like this before. Maybe you think you played a bad Sonic game like Sonic 06 or Black Knight, but you know what those games could do? Like, you know what you could do in those games? You could complete the level. Those games could run in frame rates higher than single digits. This thing runs as a slideshow. It has like these cool Genesis sprites, which is really impressive for a portable system from 1997.
Yeah, I was trying it, and I did a little spin dash with Tails, and he was going at about 5 frames per second.
Yeah, and you can't climb hills in this thing. That's how bad the physics are in this. You cannot climb a hill. Like, you will just come to a complete stop. So I'm going to have this available to play later at the little arcade we have set up. So if you want to experience this torture for yourself and maybe even beat a level, I've only beat one level on this. And you've only beat one level on this,
right?
It's a horrible experience. So, you know.
Well, as far as the obscure games, you brought Tales in the Music Maker, the Sega Pico, and that's actually been a pretty big hit out there.
Well, a few people have been playing it. One guy's trying to buy it off me. Not sure if I'm going to do that. But we also have Sonic Eraser. Now, has anyone here ever heard of Sonic Eraser? Okay, I have 2 guys. That's more than I was expecting. Sonic Eraser is this puzzle game from the from this old service called SegaNet, which was this online digital service in Japan for the Mega Drive. And it's a fun little puzzle game, nothing special, but it's also playable out there if you want to check it out. It's like, what, Bejeweled, I guess, kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of that kind of game. I played it before on emulator, so.
Yeah. Alright, so that's all I feel like talking about for things we've been playing. We got some news, right?
Thanks partially to Ladise, who's one of the showrunners out here. Late at night, she was surfing Walmart.com on her tablet, and all of a sudden, she found out about Team Sonic Racing, and they had images, including screenshots and the screen game cover. So I hurried up, got on the Sonic Stadium, and I was able to break that news. So yeah, now we know. Finally, the mysterious little R they were doing back in March stands for Team Sonic Racing. I was hoping it was going to be Super Sonic Racing.
I'm just glad it's for the Sumo Digital. Sumo Digital, they're one of the best developers to ever work on a Sonic game, let alone a Sonic spin-off. Now, this game is based around team-based gameplay where the whole team has to perform well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really interesting. It's kind of like a Sonic Heroes the Racer, where it's sets of 3 and each one has like speed, power, and flight, I guess. And so what's the advantage is that you don't have to be the single person being in first place, so one of your friends can reach first place, I guess, and help with your team.
Your whole team has to perform well.
Yeah.
In order for you to win the race. So even if you get first place, if the rest of your team's in the back, you're not going to do well.
Yeah, and it's got some interesting things I've been reading up on, like you can share your items with each other when you cross the little item boxes. You can swap them between each other. Similar to Sonic Riders, if you have a wake, if you're behind one of your friends and he has this like a screen going behind him, you can get to his wake and actually speed up, and he'll speed up as well. Huh?
Like Sonic Riders.
Yeah, just like Sonic Riders in that kind of way, except you're not doing that weird surfing thing.
Now, I will say, I'm not as hot for this one as I was for Transform for 2 reasons. So the first one is, I'd argue, a small one. That's, it's all Sonic characters, so no Alex Kidd, no Knights, nothing like that. But the bigger one for me is that I'm not sure if the team-based gameplay, for someone who just likes playing single-player racing, will do it for me in comparison to the transformed mechanics of the last game.
Yeah, but at least it's something very different. And
it's different. I mean, I can't say
that's one thing I like about Sumo Digital is they still put a really solid car racing game out by making something that's different from what Mario Kart and the rest of them are doing.
I have a feeling this is going to be something more targeted towards the multiplayer-loving crowd, which unfortunately doesn't really contain me.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be disappointed with more of the obscure Sega characters being gone, but at least you'll get probably more obscure Sonic characters. Yeah. As we might see Mighty and Ray like they're going to be at Sonic Mania Plus.
Please,
you could see Knack the Weasel, maybe even Bean and Bark, and some of those more obscure characters. I mean, Sonic in the video game franchise is getting a much bigger, what do you call it, roster than it used to.
Although they might just go the Mario route and give us baby gold Sonic or whatever.
Right. I know there's going to be like an Eggpon as one of the racers at least.
I think there was a whole team of Eggpons. I think I saw that in the screenshot.
Right.
Like different colors. Different colors of Eggpons.
Right.
I think there's a whole team of them.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be real interesting. We're heading to E3 this Tuesday. We'll be able to check that out. And we're giving down our hands-on review on SonicStadium.com.
We're going to, 2 individual ones, of course, because it's clearly the only thing to cover this year.
Yeah, unless they put out Sonic Mania Plus on the show, which I don't think they are, because it's just pretty much an
It wasn't
add-on.
on the list, so I wouldn't expect it.
Alrighty, and there's news on the Sonic movie coming out for Paramount.
Now, I don't think anyone here listens to our podcast, but okay. So one person is aware of our pessimism and Chris's.
One guy's like, put your hands down, you don't listen to his show. You gotta be crazy.
And Chris Porter, the guy I mentioned who isn't here, he's the guy who says, you know, don't judge it yet. Don't judge it until we've seen it, which I respect that. That's usually what I try to be. I like to try to be an optimist, but
this is
come on.
James Marsden as a cop.
Westworld guy.
Yeah, and Cyclops from the X-Men.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Probably because he was Cyclops.
And he's a cop, and Sonic is a juvenile delinquent that he meets up with in a rural area.
I think someone's asking us a question.
Yes?
That's why he's raising his hand.
What Sonic movie had IMAX release?
Oh,
We don't work on it. I have no idea.
I hope they have an IMAX.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen either, unless it turns out to be really, really good.
Yeah, this came from I think an executive producer or producer who's working on the film.
Well, the executive producer would probably be Tim Miller from the Deadpool movie, right?
Yeah, I think he's the one who's been working on it. He said, I guess he's seen the main plot, and once you get into it, it's kind of an interesting twist it takes. But the story synopsis, just on that, I mean, we barely have anything yet, so...
Well, what we do have doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't sound great. Doesn't sound something. It sounds like something close to the Super Mario Brothers movie we got way back in the day.
Yeah, well, that means it might have a cult following like 20 years later. And,
Yeah, or like Street Fighter, which ends up being so bad it's actually good.
But we should discuss the plot. So Marston's a police officer, right?
Right.
And Sonic is a juvenile delinquent.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, if Sonic were a real person, that's probably what he'd be. At least old school Sonic.
Do you know yet if it's going to be like all CG or if it's like a mix?
It's mixed. We know
what I hear,
that.
it's like the Smurfs 1, where it's like CG and live action.
So we're going to get to see we're going to get to see Cyclops interact with a Sonic CGI model on a movie screen.
Yeah, kind of like that CGI fan film that was put out like 2 years ago. Or
Yeah, but that's a fan film. That has passion behind it. This is like, you know, this isn't that.
This is Hollywood behind it, so it's a little. It is worrisome. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad movie, but it's worrisome right now.
If I were to make a prediction, I would say it is going to be a bad movie. But Chris does have a point, because virtually everyone in this movie is new to movies. They've never made a major motion picture before. So for all we know, like these could be really talented people who knocked it out of the park on their first try. We'll just have to see. At least it's not being handled by the Smurf people anymore.
No, it was originally with Sony, and then I got moved to Paramount, from what I understand.
Now, you know what Sonic's going to be. Now I'm wondering what the hell Knuckles and Tails are going to fit into this, unless they decide to make Sonic the only CG animal character in his little human world.
That'd be good possible. It could be like Sonic Unleashed, where it's a bunch of little humans going around.
Yeah, but the humans, they have these...
Or Sonic Adventure, I should say.
Okay, well in Sonic Adventure, they have this anime-ish cartoonies. Well, so they aren't quite so out of place. You know, they don't look like real people.
Yeah, or maybe it'll be like Dragon Ball, where that universe is used to having like anthropomorphic animals walking around and still have a ton of humans.
Right.
But again, that's also.
We want to compare this to the Dragon Ball movie. That's what we want to do.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was a pretty horrible movie as well.
I mean, there is like one reason I could find to have a little bit of optimism for this. And that's the fact that the Lego movie exists and it didn't suck. It was really, really good. And so sometimes corporate Hollywood can take this idea that sounds horrible on the surface, find the right people, and make something. So,
Yeah, that's true.
so I think we're done with the movie talk. Those are the only two things you lined up for us. So what else?
Yeah, let me see, what else? Well, I have read, has everyone read Sonic number 5 from IDW?
I haven't.
We got one here.
Traveling.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to spoil it for you then for the thing. Okay, and it's pretty good because one problem I've had with the last 4 issues is that they introduce a character, they go to a village, fight off the robots, and introduce a character from the series. First one was Tails, I think the second one was Knuckles.
Yeah, the best character.
Third one was Amy.
Oh, no.
Oh, I got far out. Do I have them out of order?
What was it? Where's that one?
First was Tails, I think the second was Amy.
Yeah, third was Knuckles.
Third was Knuckles.
Then Blaze and
Then Blaze and Tangle, which
Yeah.
Tangle's becoming a huge character as
I
far
hope
as
so.
his popularity. And so now this one, it's again another village. They're meeting up with the Cox, but the difference this time they finally found Dr. Eggman, and it ends up it's kind of weird because the continuation is a non-canon continuation from Sonic Forces, the game. And it's him at his defeat, and he's been knocked into this village. He has amnesia now, and he's just this happy guy called Mr. Tinker.
Wait, Eggman has amnesia?
Yes.
That's not the impression I got from the end of issue 4.
Oh yeah, well if you look at, okay, that's actually a fun little point. If you look at the end of issue 4, he's looking out a window with some little kid crying because his red wagon got knocked over. He goes, yes, I'll fix your little red wagon. I'll fix everything. And the next issue, he literally does that because his mind got messed up, and he's become an inventor for the town. Well, not an inventor, but a fixer-upper for everything in this little village, and they actually love him. He's this happy little, he's this happy-go-lucky guy. He's fixing all their stuff. He found out they put him in jail immediately, and then when he busted out, all he did was fix the door on the jail cell because it wasn't working right. He put himself back in jail for a short time.
This is why Ian Flynn is my favorite person to work professionally on Sonic, any Sonic-related thing. Because he always knows how to take these characters past how they're presented in other
Yeah,
media.
it's a fun little twist.
Stories with great action adventure. So man, it sounds like issue 5 picks up, and that's where he goes from there. So
So the Chaotix found him in this town, and the kids, and there's a bunch of kids there. They all love him because he's helping them out. A whole bunch of robots attack, and Sonic's there thinking, okay, now I'm going to expose Eggman as the fraud he is, and Eggman instead is just hurrying up and putting up all these tables and barricades and getting the children to hide in this room. They're like, don't worry, you'll be okay, And he's also being real cowardly at the same time. So Sonic has finally come to the conclusion, and they've been saying, well, we've been watching him when he thinks he's alone. His attitude hasn't changed or anything. So Sonic's convinced that yes, he's got amnesia. He's Mr. Tinker now, and
I imagine that's not going to last, of course, because Eggman's got to be Eggman.
Yeah, and so it's pretty much he's convinced. So the problem is, do they lock him up? Do they put him in prison for his past crimes? His past crimes they have no idea that he's done, or just leave him the way he is now, where he's harmless?
Well, they should just put him in jail and lock him up, because eventually he's going to get hit on the head again. He's going to remember he's Eggman, and then he's going to kill everyone. So since this is, not that kind of story, they're just going to let him roam around until he...
Well, they got a really nice setup for the next issues, because Sonic decides, okay, he is harmless here. I'm not going to put in jail for crimes he doesn't have no idea that he's even committed. So, at the end of the episode, Shadow and Team Dark come in, and Shadow just absolutely wants to kill Eggman, and so Sonic's like, no, wait a minute, he's not he's not Eggman anymore. So that leads to, of course, a big fight between Sonic and Shadow in the next issue. And that's a great I like that they have a really good excuse to fight instead of just like a anti-hero going up against a hero for barely any reasons.
Now, so I know we neglected to discuss one thing on the last episode of Sonic Talk, and that's who is the mysterious villain sitting in the chair. Now, my roommate, Corey Holmes, had a really good theory that I'm pretty sure is the correct theory, and I think almost qualifies as a spoiler. That would be that the thing sitting in the chair is Metal Sonic.
Yeah, maybe. That's a possibility. It's something small because it's always filmed from an angle where you can't see what's sitting in the chair. And that's a good theory. My theory is it might be Eggman's either got a split personality and it's a little broadcasting thing inside, because I'm noticing Orbot and Q-Bar, they're still serving whoever's in that chair.
Well, if I remember correctly, the text is kind of blue and staticky, right?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Well, I think that's because I know that Corey said that one of the reasons why I think it's Metal Sonic is because the text volume is bluish.
Yeah. One of the things I do like about the IDW comics is how they're incorporating the fan base in there. Not only just fan letters, but each month somebody shows off their fan art and cosplay that they're doing, and they actually put that picture in the comic, and that's always really nice.
Basically what Archie used to do for years. It is nice to see a return of that. Although we do have to lose a few pages of plot for us, but oh well. Now, we have last check, probably about 20 minutes left. But there is one other thing at the very least. Alright, there's first the Puma shoes, which, those came out a few days ago. I don't know if you guys have been following that, but...
they come out this Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I thought it was last on the 5th.
No, they're coming out this Tuesday, June 12th, the Sonic and Eggman Puma shoes.
$130. Yes.
What?
That's how much they cost, $130.
Oh my god.
For sneakers. Now,
I mean, the Eggman ones look kind of nice. I was kind of tempted with that. I don't think they have them in size 14 though, so you do have to. But good God, $130.
Yes. Now, there is going to be a little party, as I recall, on Wednesday that we are almost certainly going to. Where there, what did you say? Crush 40 is going to be playing?
A rapper named Belly and Crush 40 are going to be playing at, I forget the name of the place. It's a Puma store near the convention center called Kicks.
Nice Kicks, LA.
Nice Kicks, thank you very much. Forget the name of that. And yeah, it's going to be a party from 6 to 10. They're going to have Belly, Crush 40, Takashi Iizuka will be there, taking selfies with everyone. Huh?
I said, I wonder if he'll sing. I said, I wonder if he will sing, which was supposed to be a quick little thing I said. Now we spent like 30 seconds. It was stupid.
Alright. Sorry about that. And yeah, that looks really interesting. So if you're going to be out in LA, yeah, you can go out to Nice Kicks downtown, and you can see Crush 40 in concert.
Now we will be there, and we will be reporting on it in some capacity. I'm not sure what yet. We usually try to record these sorts of events or take pictures, but I don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah, you have your camera there, so we'll be good.
Over there.
It'll be good for all of you three.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as that goes, let's see what time is it. It's still.
This is we need to find this out this time.
Yeah, we really should have done that. So
well, we're discussed. Wait, there was that last episode of Mini Adventure with the best character in it.
Oh, yeah, we have the Sonic.
I was going to say Knuckles first.
That's what I love about Sonic, is that you have all this multimedia about it. He's not just a video game character. He's got his comic books and he's got his cartoons. Even when Sonic Boom is apparently ended, I'm not sure if it is. I mean, we do have the writers from Sonic Boom in the next room over here.
Someone's raising their hand.
Yes.
I talked to them. It's not looking good, like at all.
Okay, well, it's canceled. I mean, probably.
It's not canceled, but it's not looking good, so
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Sonic Boom has had its run, from the past 2 seasons. It's had several mobile and other video games. Okay, here's the topic. That's a topic right there, is Sonic Boom. That's something you actually wanted to cover for a long time.
Yeah, but I wanted to like have a big old episode to it with Chris there and everything.
Yeah,
we didn't discuss Mini Adventure though.
We wanted to discuss
with Ray the Squirrel, his first ever animated appearance.
Yeah, animated by Tyson Hess, who's also out here at Sonic Revolution.
And now, like, at this point, 3 episodes in, Sonic Mini Adventure, by far, like, the best thing about this series is it's got great physical comedy and great use of these old-school Genesis sound effects.
Yeah, just slapstick, no, it's kind of like old school where there's no talking at all, everything's pantomime as far as telling the little story, and we got Knuckles going around, making sure nobody's coming after his master emblem and everything.
Yeah, like lots of neat little bits of visual humor in like every single frame of his movement. Like even when that master emblem disappears, he looks under a little rock and stuff like that. Of course, Knuckles, the best echidna would look under a rock for a giant 6-foot-tall emerald.
Well, that's his gullibility and naivete there.
Yeah, he's gullible, come on. At least have like spatial awareness, right?
Well, I mean, that's more Sonic Boom Knuckles, I think, would be that, because that's the one thing I have loved Sonic Boom Knuckles. It's just so dumb. But yeah, and then Ray the Flying Squirrel comes. Well, first he's thinking about who might be stealing it, and he thinks of Eggman, the one
Emperor guy or whatever.
Yeah, the Emperor from the, what were their names?
Sonic Mania.
Yeah, from the Emperor robot from Sonic Mania, I forget the name of it.
And of course,
Sonic
will pose to that emerald because he's a juvenile delinquent. He has no respect for the rules.
Alright, James Marsden's gonna take him down.
Yeah, Knuckles is gonna help.
Right, so then Ray the Flying Squirrel comes in.
Looking for Mighty, of course, because Mighty's been missing ever since Knuckles Chaotic, which, by the way, is playable out in the arcade there. And got a little one poster on from, what was it, the Generation game?
Yeah, I think one of the Sonic Generation games, so they have the missing posters of Mighty and Ray, and then the wanted posters of the Mac-a-Weasel and Bean and Bark.
Knuckles just, the moment Ray like starts looking at that magnificent glowing emerald, Knuckles just grabs him by the head and throws him into space. And that results in some funny Twitter memes, I think.
Yeah, I've seen some. So I like that he throws him and it starts from the Sega Sonic arcade from the level, but they're dropping him right in there.
And of course, then at the very end, Eggman using Sonic's plane, you know, the best plan Eggman's ever had, classic Eggman. Steal Sonic's plane, steal the Master Emerald, now it's pit Knuckles and Sonic against each other. And I guess that's going to be episode 4, probably.
Yeah, I find it kind of interesting that Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces have both had their stories kind of continue in different multimedia. I mean, it's unofficial in the comics, but it is a continuation from Sonic Forces in the comics, and then Sonic Mania has had its own, you know, cartoon series now from Sonic Mania Adventures.
Now, I'm about to get a bit greedy and maybe a little bit insensitive, but if Sonic Boom is really gone, I wouldn't mind a full-length Sonic Mania Adventure series. Because, like, the animation is a little low budget, clearly, but it still looks great. Like, Tyson Hess's style is so well suited for animation.
That would really overwork Tyson Hess if it was just him.
Well, he doesn't even, like, he like supplies character models and stuff, and then Netco Productions is the team that actually animates it. Most of it, anyway.
Right.
Well, I think Netco Productions is his studio, if I remember correctly. So he does do a bit of animation on it.
Right. Yeah, that's what makes for Tyson Hess. I mean, you just started off with boxer hockey, and then doing
really funny webcomic, by the way, boxer hockey.
Right, and then going on to do a parody in his webcomic, doing a full parody of Sonic.
What was it? Nipples that with the kid.
The Nipples, the enchilada. Yeah.
Right, thank you. Yeah, his nipples on his face.
And Bat Face the Rouge. I like that. Oh, man, what's wrong with me? She turns around, it's a photorealistic face of a bat that Knuckles is absolutely in love with.
Oh man, the
It's just
expressions in
hideous.
that are so adorable.
Yeah, what was the name of that whole? Because he did it as a fan comic too.
It was like Sonic's.
Sonic's Big Fat Adventure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Sonic's Big Fat Adventure.
I'm
If you haven't
glad that our audience is
never
so
read
long.
that, check it out online. It's hilarious. All right, and it's 12:30, and we are just running out of stuff to talk about because I did do show notes. All right,
Yes.
and what was one of the things I was trying to think of to bring up besides supersonic racing?
Well, nothing to do with Mania. Well, there was a little bit, some leaks with the Mania, with the Sonic Mania DLC stuff, right?
Right, there was Sonic Mania Plus. We did find out that that's coming out in mid-July, I think July 17th.
Ooh, 3 days from my birthday.
Yeah, and different several different multiplayer modes. I think one of them's online, if I'm not correct.
There's an online mode now.
If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken on that.
This is why we do show notes on the actual show, where we can like pause the show, we don't have people looking at us.
Yeah, well, normally our shows go almost 2 hours
Check
since
my
we
phone.
have Motor Mouth Chris Ford on here. He always puts in his opinion
Yeah, we really need Chris.
for about an hour and a half of the 2 hours that we
Well,
do these things.
let's see, did you play any Tales from Music Maker while you were here, or should I just talk about that myself?
No, I haven't, but you know what? You can talk about that because that's the one on the show that everyone seems to be lining up for right now.
Oh, they're not lining up for it.
I actually saw the line before we started the show.
Okay, maybe they're lining up for it. So I brought a Sega Pico here, which I guess I will now try to talk about for 12 minutes, because Sega hasn't done much news since our last show. Well, Tales from the Music Maker. It's basically just
Edutainment, I guess is the word.
it's edutainment, although like I question the edutainment value of some of those mini games. Like there's one game where it's the one I've played the most of because it's the closest thing to a platformer, where basically like Tails can walk, run, and stop. And you gotta stop to avoid coconuts. You gotta run to jump over holes, and that's basically all there is to it. And like every time he changes his speed, there is a different musical thing that plays. And that's, in my opinion, the most engaging mini game on that set. There's also like ones where you have to like circle musical notes.
And I saw somebody playing that one.
Yeah, and the Pico really is a fascinating system because like it's got all these sense. It's got like two like touch pads. One, this yellow touch pad on the bottom. You can also just touch the book itself. A little book cartridge that's on. Like you can like move your little mouse cursor around, and select things. It is so weird. Like Sega was basically like doing stylus touch gameplay before the Nintendo DS was even a twinkle in Iwata's eye, right? But
speaking of obscure Sonic games, one thing I was going to say, we're going to talk about obscure Sonic games. That'd actually be a good topic to discuss for a little bit. I did get to try, it was just on an emulator, the Sega Sonic Arcade.
Ah, yes. Fun fact, I have the PCB for that. And I wanted to get that thing playable every single year to bring here. But I can't find anyone to stick into a cabinet or something, so it's just a PCB sitting in a cardboard box. All right, go on.
Alright, so Sega Sonic is arcade. It's basically the first one that ever had Mighty and Ray in it, and the last one that ever had Mighty and Ray in it until
The only one with Ray.
Except you count, well, Mighty was in Knuckles Chaotic. But yeah, that was a trackball game where you're just having to. Normally when you talk about Sonic, you're thinking about Green Hill Zone, running along, spinning dash, jumping over things. Here, you're in a death trap of Eggman's making, and you're running for your life through these isometric levels, jumping over death pits and everything, and it is the most stressful thing I've ever played in my life.
Stressful?
It's just run, jump, run, hurry, you're gonna die, run!
Well, it is an arcade game that wants you to spend money.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing. I was playing it, I continued about 50 times, Yes, that's how often you die in that game.
If this were like an iOS game, you probably would have had to have spent like $30 to get that many continues.
Right, or no, you'd have to either wait for the next day to play again, or purchase $10 in diamonds and cryptocurrency and what have you. Anyway, and then what sucks is you get to the ending and you defeat the final boss, but you have to escape out of that place in just the right amount of time. Just do it perfectly. If you don't, that's it. You cannot. You have to start the game all over again if you want the actual ending.
Wow. Well, you know, it's an emulator, so you have save states, right?
Right.
So for all intents and purposes, like save and then.
I mean, in the original arcade, that kind of sucks that you just can go back.
Yeah. Like, that's how a lot of arcade, a few arcade games did that back that I'm aware of. That's like how they got you to come back, like giving you the bad ending that you can't redo.
Yeah, I was trying to think of other obscure Sonic games. I did get to try, when the original DS came out, that really big fat clamshell one.
Oh, you talked about the E3 demo before.
On the show?
Yeah, a couple of times, I think.
Yeah, it was really basic. It's just like a 3D Sonic, and you just scratch the screen as fast as you can to make it run.
It's basically like a glorified tech demo that.
Yeah, it was a tech demo.
It worked well as a special stage, I think, because the 3D models in that, from what I've seen, are really impressive for DS.
Right. And I'm just trying to think of what's a really obscure Sonic game in particular?
Well, there's Sonic Eraser, which I've already talked about, and you probably haven't played yet.
No, I have played that.
Right. Well, talk about it then. If you want. Or we could talk about Sonic Mega Mix.
Sonic Mega Mix, yes. I saw a little bit of that being played. It's
So going back to the arcade we have out there, in addition to a bunch of obscure games, we also have a few Genesis ROM hacks, including one which is from a notable Sonic fan game team Mega Mix. And if I remember correctly, I think
was anybody on that team that did Sonic Mania at all?
I think there may have been a few people who did some stuff on Mega Mix and then went on to Mania. I meant to look it up before I came here, but I've been busy all day trying to get the arcade to work. But
oh yeah, we had such a good luck with that. I mean, I brought a flat panel TV that completely didn't work at all.
And then we bought another one.
And then we went 11 o'clock, went over to what they call a pawn shop, and bought two more TVs. One works great, one's completely busted.
But basically, like Sonic Mega Mix, it's the team took Sonic 1 and they put in completely new assets and levels, and there's even a version for the Sega CD that's unstable, but it's quite fun from what I've played, that adds characters like Mighty and Shadow and Knuckles and Tails. And it's like, I don't know if anyone here has any experience with emulators, but I would recommend checking out Sonic Mega Mix at some point. It's pretty easy to find, and it's a lot of fun while you're waiting for the next. Good way to spend your time while you're waiting for the next.
Yeah, you got the running on the original Genesis hardware.
Yeah, you can check it out on on my Sega CDX out there right now if you want to.
All right, and one thing I was going to bring up and I completely forgot about.
Here we go.
Is on our last show we were mentioning how in issue 2 of the Sonic IDW, Sally has been more independent, more of a fighter, more of a leader. And
Okay, I think you mean
Amy, yes.
I know
Amy.
that was the title of the last episode.
Yeah, it was Amy with Sally.
So let's call her Amy.
Yeah, and that's kind of a thing, is they seem to make her more like Sally than ever before. And when the series just once announced, the only new character they showed that was comic book exclusive was Tangle. And they haven't shown anything of the Freedom Fighters or really have any plans for it. And there hasn't been any real hoopla about that at all as far as the fandom goes. And I'm wondering, do you think it is time for that particular era to finally just die off? The Freedom Fighters, Sonic Sam and that kind of thing.
Well, understand.
It hasn't reached its end.
While you were in your 20s when this was going on. I grew up with these characters, and so I have an unreasonable nostalgic attachment to them. And so I'm not a very good person to ask, because of course, I want these characters to continue simply because they're kind of the last, one of the last vestiges of the old Sonic media of the 90s.
Or even the larger Sonic.
It's really impressive that
actually come to
the Freedom Fighters, this obscure original group of characters from this old cartoon no Sonic fans have even watched, managed to persist in some form for until just last year. And so if IDW has the rights to those characters, I'd like to see them return in some capacity.
Yeah, I wonder if they actually do though, or is it just a thing there where they either don't really need to use them right now, or they can't, maybe?
Well, I would imagine it's probably just don't want to. They, they want to build up their own fiction, their own characters.
Yeah, Sega itself,
I think is a smart move.
When Sonic started back in Sonic San started, there was just Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and that's it. But now, ever since then, it's been a huge amount of characters, a huge roster of official, video game characters that don't.
Now, the great thing about Sonic Forces and the influence starting off Sonic Forces is that characters like the Freedom Fighters are suddenly not out of place in a Sonic game anymore, because Sonic Forces basically had a resistance and a bunch of
their own version
cartoon animal characters running around fighting Eggman. So, if anything, they have more reason to bring them back now if they ever want to.
Alright, and
a separate Freedom Fighter cell or something.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be it for us. Thank you all for showing. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with our lack of planning.
Yeah, really.
It actually didn't ramble as much as we normally do on the actual show.
Yeah, I don't know if we get to the end, it gets pretty horrible.
No, it's a rambling out the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's better when we have Chris here.
But, well, we got 1 more minute left, and so we don't have anything else to talk about. So, if you want to check us out, all of our episodes are up on Sonic Stadium and iTunes. And we're on
iTunes?
I thought we had something on iTunes, didn't we?
I think we just have the older ones on.
Oh, okay. Well, we got the older ones.
So we're on YouTube, Sonic Talk, and you can also check us out on Sonic Stadium, where we also write and do reports on there. And I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, we try to do 1 new episode every month. No particular week, just whenever we can. So if you want to catch us, we'll be over by the arcade. At least I'll be over by the arcade.
Okay.
We'll hopefully we weren't too boring.
All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. All right.
Thank you.